Hi there, Ginger Fusion here. We're going to do a quick deck profile talking about what I think you guys should run if you want to beat Red. This is specifically my list and what I would run if you want to play in best of one format with or without a sideboard. I think this is a solid deck. And we're not going to talk about the sideboard. It's going to be focusing on this. And then we're going to do a few untapped videos as well, just showing you guys how to play the deck and how to run it by. A few things. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the kings of my subscribers, the people who actually click the subscribe button, who help me out, and who use my affiliate link. You guys are awesome, and you guys literally are just coolest cats in the world. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys haven't done it now, just click that subscribe button so we can get some people actually following me for more content. And if you guys can, download my affiliate link. You'll see it on my TCG player link. If you guys shop from TCG, it gives me store credit so I can use that to play lots of different decks. So I appreciate it. And then as always, I like to give people a little bit more like one-on-one if they do use my stuff. So message me and be like, hey, Ginger, I use your stuff and I have a question. I am much more likely to respond. All right, without further ado, let's talk about the actual deck of what makes this so dangerous. All right, the reason why I like this deck is it's got a phenomenal matchup versus Red because of two cards. I'm going to talk about both of those cards. The other part that makes it so good against Red is that it can't stop Mira. So that's why we threw in Mira here. Mira is unbelievably amazing. I might up Mira up to a 2 if we really think Red is popular, and we'll talk about it. Now, you guys saw that Bulma's popular. There's not much we can do about Bulma besides the fact that we're going to outvalue them. We don't need to do much more, okay? We are going to use some counter spells and some other tricks to take care of them, and poutine and all kinds of other nice little tap effects. That'll mostly keep the way clear for our final attack. But the whole purpose of this deck is to go big, and that's why, if you guys notice, for our SCR, we're actually running Super Mira. That's because this is a turn 5 auto win leader, and I mean that 100%. This card will let you win the game, and it's super cheap. Look at this. It's at $37 is what it says, so amazing deck. So we're going to talk about it, the reason why I like all these cards and the synergies that go with it. But this is my list. This is 100% what I would play if I'm going to play this yellow deck. And you guys can't see it here, but I've already foiled out majority of it because I do like the list and I'm considering it. So there's some issues, and we'll talk about the issues, but they're not major issues, but they're little issues. Biggest problem is the ratios. If you guys look at this list, we're at 53 cards. I can't afford more, and I can't afford less. So that sucks, because I'd really like to add another Champa, maybe another Mira, maybe some free Overrealm. I hate always paying 1 for Overrealm, but some cards are just super good. Like this Son Goku. Man, it's great. Now, you'll notice Bergamo is not in my list. That was because it was giving me some issues, so hopefully now it'll let me do it. I couldn't add Bergamo, and that will be the final card if it lets me do it. So while we're live, let's see if it'll let me find... All right, there it is, Bergamo. Maybe I just didn't spell it right. All right, so 54 cards is the final number, and the list is fantastic. Bergamo, of course, being the way to just tap your opponent's energy, a broken mechanic that should not exist, and hopefully they do ban it. All right, we're going to talk about the leader, and what makes this leader so ridiculous and so helpful is the fact that Trunks is a tiny leader. This guy has a lot of support, but it's through little guys. So what it does is it can play from the drop. So you guys can see it here. When this card attacks, it draws a card. Then activate main. If you have 2 or more energy, you choose 1 yellow Vegeta in your battle area and place under this. You can alternatively awaken. So it has 2 ways to awaken. The other way is, of course, if you're at 4 or less life, draw 2 cards, flip the card over. Now, this leader, what makes it so great and how we're going to play it differently than everybody else is he has built-in double strike. Yes, he maintains value over time. We don't care about that. We're going to be super aggressive with our attacks and our life, and we're just going to swing and swing and swing and get our opponent down to 2 life, and then just go leader swing or Mira, Champa, done. We're not going to play all these games everyone else is doing. If you see a lot of yellow decks right now, they are trying to set up the fact that every turn you effectively draw 2. And so they're like, oh, look at all this crazy value. We eventually will win the game. Well, they're not winning because eventually doesn't do enough work. Red in particular is a huge problem right now because they also draw 2. So, don't be a donkey and play poorly. be a hero and just kill your opponent quickly. That's what I would do. And if I'm going to play Dragon Ball, I'm going to do it like that. So the way that we do it is pretty simple. So there's some cool cards in here that give you utility. Like, for example, you have good old Bulma here. She lets you look at your top cards. Trunks, of course, plays a Vegeta from the drop area or your deck with its non-keyword skills negated. Basically just means you get to play it, but you don't get to draw an additional card, okay? And then they draw a card when they just play. Now, the biggest weakness to this deck is that if you go turn 1 and you don't see a Trunks or a Vegeta or a Bulma, you effectively lost this game. It's super unlikely you're going to win. It's possible, but man, it sucks. Because what makes this deck so good is the fact that on turn 2, you can EX evolve a Vegeta or a Trunks to slow down your opponent while creating some aggression. Now, if you play it my way, you're going to attack with Trunks when you play it. The whole idea here is we're going to keep attacking. We have a Son Goku, father and son. He's in here as well, so that way on turn 3 we can attack. We want to get him down. Now, you'll notice something weird. Now, I'm running the Unison of Fury. That means that on turn 2, I can't use the extra energy to evolve if I play it. That's perfectly okay. What makes this Vegeta so good is we can play it for 2. If we already have a Vegeta in play, would be the optimal thing. So turn 1, we play a Vegeta. Or we play a Trunks who plays a Vegeta. Whatever way we do it, we get a Vegeta into play. And then we tap that Vegeta to add a marker to this card. Then we're going to neg 1 and make it so our opponent can attack with battle cards greater than their energy for the turn. That shuts off pretty much every red deck. We can't do anything with Vegeta Unison of Fury. We can play 17 on turn 3. We can't even use our Trunks. We can use Baby Parasite. That's it. It really hinders us. And it basically keeps us out. Now, what's even more interesting about it is if we're playing a deck that doesn't play weenies, that plays weenies, or like we're not really worried about taking the damage, we can actually uptick the Vegeta on turn 2 to give us a lot of aggression on turn 3, because we could do it again. The fact here that it's once per turn that you can add a counter to it is just phenomenal. This Unison is not seeing a lot of play, and I don't get why. I think it's just people really like Trunks because, hey, you can just KO stuff. But this Vegeta is going to slow down your opponents, and what we're going to hopefully do is if we ult, you guys can see here, we can tap an energy. So that means he's an alternative way of killing your opponent with 4 energy. If your opponent keeps 1 up, which usually like Red will be like, all right, I got this one last effect. We can do it, and then we can become, a 20k double strike dual attack. And that's what we want. We just want to kill our opponent. We don't want to play all these games and go around. Now, the reason why I'm playing that is also because I really want to play this Mira. This Mira is ridiculous on turn 4. So, Kai is amazing for board wiping, alternative strategies. Pan, also really cool. Those are great cards to not lose the game. Those cards don't win you the game. And what I want to do is win the game. So what's really cool about this card is for 5 energy, you can just play it. If your game goes that long, which is not uncommon with this list. So what's really cool about this list is the Trunks and Poutine are going to slow down your opponent just enough that it's going to buy you time. And you're going to keep trying to hit your opponent and hit your opponent. But you've got some really cheap negates. We can play Mecha for 1. We've got free cost negates. And we have the ability to tap blockers when we're being aggressive. So we're just getting value after value. So with all these little effects going on, what makes the deck super great is the fact that turn 5 is very consistent. You see people are running Celzino. And although I like Celzino requires that we have a board. If we draw Super Mira and it's the only card in our hand, we can still win the game. We can tap 2 energy, which usually that's the most that they're going to have. And plus 5,000 power and double strike for the turn. And it already has dual attack. So it's a 40k. Dual attack, like this is just solid. And it chooses all of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring Barrio, and KOs them. So super relevant, like I said, with Bulma being around, because we are going to tap a lot of their board. So the other thing you're going to notice is, since we're talking about this turn 4, we have little value plays. So like on our turn 2, we may not play a Vegeta. Okay, we might go a different route. A really solid route might be, let's just say we don't have a Vegeta in play, we've got to pay the 1, sure. Then we're going to play Basil. Just summon it. Draw a card. Basil may not be online now, but next turn, if we can have him trigger and be online, we're going to get super great value. You'll still see here I'm running still 3 copies of this card. This is in large part because it's your best turn 3 play. So you'll notice there's a lot of like ifs, right? So what we want to have happen is, like, first of all, we get the Vegeta on 1. Then we play this Vegeta on 2. We tap it, we awaken, we do all those cool tricks. Then on turn 3, we have this Vegeta here to swing, KO our opponent's board, and hopefully gain triple strike and knock our opponent down some life. If we're able to get this attack in, basically the rest of the game is taken care of us. Because now we have this guy to chill out, and this is just amazing value. Red currently doesn't have a lot of options that they can do in response to that. The biggest thing Red can do is like play a Videl, which isn't much if they go first. But if they go second, like, Red's going to have a very hard time with this card, and obviously it's going to wipe their board. Like, so it's just built-in value on top of value. So I like it a lot. That's why it's at a 3 of. I really do like the Son Goku. If you guys want to cut it, you can. I just like having a body you can play for free whenever you want. In my build, there's not that many tap effects because I'm not running Zamasu super combo. So I could see the argument that, hey, this is a 10K. 10Ks are dangerous to have with yellow because we already have how many 10Ks effectively or cards that you can't always combo with. We have 1, 2, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that puts us up to 16. In my opinion, 17, 18. So we have 18 cards. That is a lot. I'm not going to lie. So I could see if you want to cut it, it wouldn't be the end of the world, and it would bring our numbers a little bit better. But I don't think we go any lower than that. And I like it. I still would want to find room for it. It's just we can do it later. But this Mira right now is poised to just steal games. It's also why I'm running Basil, because Basil is just phenomenal. Gets us built-in value. Like on turn 4, that's kind of when we want a Basil. Just get in a fair amount of damage and just kind of like put a lot of pressure in. That's the purpose of these, is that this deck really can do a lot on its turn 4 because your turn 2 and 3, you've done so many value plays and you've controlled your life. I'd say one of the biggest weaknesses to this build is you have to be paying attention to your life. So you have to hope you go to 6 and you have to hope your opponent does something to put you to 5. So that way you can activate a Frieza's Army reinforcement right away. So that way you can go to 4 life so your super combo is live. I could see an argument for running different super combos because of that. I still say running the best super combo in the game is worth it because although we're being aggressive, we don't have to kill our opponent. One of my favorite things about this list is because we are running Champa and we have Cooler back, and we do have a fair amount of power here with like the final flashes and stuff, you can put your opponent to 2 life and have open 4 energy. Swing with like your leader, for example. And then if they blow their only negate on it, or they blow an effect, you can be like, like if they have a Poutine up and you've got the Cooler, you can just go for it at that point, or you can chill out. And I really like that. One thing I noticed though, when I'm watching other yellow decks, they try not to go below 2 life. Like they try to stay away from 2 life. 2 life is just fine for yellow, okay? 1 is the only time where you're in danger, so 2 is fine. And I frequently see them blow this Vegeta and Trunks effect. You guys need to keep this effect. This effect is your win con and what makes the deck so much better. You have a built-in 25k leader that you did nothing for. And the reason why they blow it early is usually they don't have another Vegeta. But yet I've seen so many people charge that other Vegeta because they're like, I have a second one. No, just don't charge it. Charge something else. Charge a mecha. Charge the 3-drop if you have to. Just don't charge that. What else can we talk about? Now, you guys will notice on top of running Mira, this version, I also have this version of Mira, and that's because Mira Assault from the Skies might be currently the best SR, or is it a rare? It's a rare. This might be the best Overwhelm that costs an energy because it doesn't tap you out for your turn. So that's very nice because he's a double strike, he's a 30k, he draws a card. That's really, really valuable. But then on top of that, he's going to untap an energy. So effectively, he's kind of free. He's also a 5k. I'm just kind of testing out both right now. I have a locals coming up, so I'm either going to play U7 for the championship event, or I'm going to play this. I don't know what the rules are for it, but I have a feeling it's going to be UW only. And if it's UW only, I think 90% of this deck is UW. So it's either this or just play U7 again. And I'm kind of overplaying U7 because I feel like everybody's on the list. So we'll try it. Like I said, next I'm going to record some untaps. So hopefully you guys enjoy the content. You subscribe and appreciate you. I'll see you guys at the next event.